Meet Apocalypse, the oldest mutant on Earth, not an Egyptian pharaoh, but a cruel enslaver from 3600 BCE. His secret to long life, swapping bodies when his current one wears out, thanks to his 4 loyal horsemen. This time, he's nabbed a body with healing powers. Apocalypse doesn't just take over, he steals superpowers and keeps piling them up. As the ritual kicks off, sunlight hits the pyramid's peak, lighting up mysterious runes. While Apocalypse is busy moving into his new digs, the slaves see their chance and rebel. They send huge rocks tumbling down the pyramid, aiming to crush their oppressor. Inside, it's chaos. War. One of the horsemen turns soldiers into skeletons with a clap. Famine conjures fire snakes, burning others to a crisp. But those falling rocks, they're shaking the whole place up. Pestilence catches a boulder headed for Apocalypse, but the others aren't so lucky. As the transfer nears its end, an assassin leaps out. Death, another horseman, grabs the attacker with mind powers, twisting and smashing them. Just then, the avalanche of stones takes out a key support, squashing Famine flat. The pyramid's coming down and everyone's in danger. Death tumbles down with Apocalypse, frantically using her mind powers to armor up his new body. She hits the rubble hard but manages to shield Apocalypse one last time before she dies. Fast forward 1,000 years, Apocalypse's fan club shows up and boom, the big bad is back in business. He wakes up, blasts out of his tomb, and hits the streets, realizing Egypt's changed a bit since he last ruled. Enter young Storm, a girl with weather powers pulling off a sneaky theft. When a vendor catches her, Apocalypse steps in. The vendor makes a big mistake, threatening him with a puny knife. Apocalypse goes all Sandman on the vendor's pals, then turns the wall into a hungry monster, leaving just the vendor's terrified face sticking out. Storm takes Apocalypse to her hideout. He gets his first look at TV and instantly downloads thousands of years of history. Not happy that regular folks are running things now, he decides it's time for a global reset. Step 1. Get the band back together. Apocalypse taps Storm on the chin, unlocking her full potential and making her his first new horseman. Looks like Earth's in for some trouble. Apocalypse and Storm set out to build their team. First up is Psylocke, a mutant who turns thoughts into weapons. With a mere thought, Apocalypse supercharges her psychic blade. Next, they meet Angel. Poor guy's got a busted wing, but not for long. Apocalypse gives him a metallic upgrade, complete with razor-sharp, launchable feathers. For his final pick, Apocalypse has his eye on the infamous Magneto. We find him in disguise, saving the day at a factory by stopping a falling furnace mid-air with his powers. Knowing he's blown his cover, Magneto rushes home to grab his family and run, but their daughter's gone missing. They find her surrounded by cops who figured out Magneto's secret. Magneto gives himself up to protect his kid, but things go south fast. His daughter's powers kick in, bringing a flock of angry birds. In the chaos, a stray arrow hits both mom and daughter. Magneto loses it. After a moment of heartbreak, rage takes over. He takes his daughter's necklace and wipes out every cop there. Back at the factory, Magneto's out for revenge. He's about to go full villain when a purple portal opens behind him. There stands Apocalypse with his 3 new horsemen, ready to make Magneto an offer he might not refuse. They zap to a concentration camp, Magneto's painful past. As memories flood back, Apocalypse nudges Magneto to tap into his true power. Metal starts flying, and boom, Magneto levels the place in a rage. Meanwhile, Mystique drops by Professor X's school with bad news. Magneto's family is dead, and he's left a trail of bodies. She knows humans will be after him, and asks Charles for help. Charles straps on Cerebro, his mutant-finding helmet, and quickly spots Magneto, but it's too late. Magneto's heart is full of hate, vowing revenge on humanity. Suddenly, Apocalypse crashes the mental party. He's impressed by Charles's brain power and decides to take it for a spin. Using Charles, he mind controls soldiers worldwide to launch nukes. In a nail-biting moment, Charles breaks free and orders Cerebro destroyed. Havoc blasts it to bits with his energy beam. Charles falls into a coma from the strain. The team scrambles to get him out of there, knowing they're in for one heck of a fight against Apocalypse and his horsemen. Just as the team's rushing out with Charles, Apocalypse and his crew show up. Magneto doesn't waste time, snatching Charles right away. Apocalypse opens a portal, and in the chaos, Havoc's blast hits an engine, triggering a massive boom. Enter Quicksilver, zooming in just in time. He's like a one-man rescue team on fast forward. In what seems like a blink to everyone else, he's peeling away debris, scooping up a girl from a crumbling floor, giving a kid a quick makeover in the bathroom, tossing couples and blanket-wrapped kids out windows, safer than it sounds, setting up makeshift safety nets with curtains, surfing a table out the window with 2 students. When time catches up, it's raining students into water or onto bed sheets. Everyone's safe except poor Havoc, who was too close to the blast. Just when they think help's arrived, it's actually Stryker in a chopper. He catches them off guard, knocking them out with sonic weapons and nabbing Mystique's group. Cyclops and his pals, who manage to stay hidden, sneak onto Stryker's plane using Nightcrawler's powers. But surprise, the plane's got anti-mutant tech, blocking Nightcrawler's teleporting and Jean's mind tricks. Looks like our heroes are in a tight spot, with Charles kidnapped and the rest either captured or trapped. The stakes are getting higher by the minute. Stryker's got Mystique and the gang locked up in his secret base, ready for a chat about Charles, but then surprise, Charles's voice booms out everywhere. It's actually Apocalypse pulling the strings, declaring war on humans. Sneaky Charles manages to slip Jean their location though. Things heat up when Jean's cover's blown. She and her friends stumble into a lab and find a mystery beast in a box. With soldiers hot on their heels, Jean makes a split-second decision to free whatever's inside. Out pops Wolverine, but not the hero we know. This guy's all animal, no memories. The soldiers start shooting, and Wolverine goes berserk. He tears through the base like a hurricane, even scaring tough guy Stryker into running for the hills. While Wolverine vanishes into the snowy wilderness, his rampage gives John and company the chance they need. They find and free Mystique's group, with Cyclops blasting open their cell. Team reunited, they set off to save Charles. Meanwhile, Apocalypse is busy with his extreme makeover, City Edition. He turns a whole city to dust, swirling it into a massive tornado. When the dust settles, bam, there's a brand new pyramid standing tall. Apocalypse whips up a helmet for Magneto from thin air. Now everyone's wondering, just how powerful has Magneto become with Apocalypse's upgrade? Magneto taps into his supercharged powers, and wow, it's something else. He's not just moving metal anymore, he's messing with the Earth's magnetic field. Shipping containers fly, buildings crumble, and the ocean floor shifts. It's like he's got the whole world in his hands, and he's squeezing. People are freaking out, realizing this could knock humanity back to the Bronze Age. Talk about a drastic makeover. In swoops the X-Men, landing in Cairo. They split up. Quicksilver and Mystique go for Magneto, while the others target Apocalypse. Quicksilver and Mystique can't get through Magneto's force field, so Mystique tries the heartstrings instead. She reminds him that family isn't just blood, it's her and Charles too. It hits home, and Magneto starts to question his choices. Inside the pyramid, Apocalypse is all set to snatch Charles's powers. If he succeeds, game over, he'd control everyone, everywhere. Nightcrawler pops in for a rescue but runs into Angel. They duke it out, forcing Nightcrawler to retreat. Outside, Beast and Psylocke are going at it, with Psylocke nearly choking Beast before he turns the tables. The ritual's almost done. Charles is going bald, hello, iconic look, and his eyes are changing, but just in the nick of time, Nightcrawler finds a way back in. It's a real nail-biter. Can Nightcrawler save Charles? In a daring rescue, Nightcrawler zips through the chaos to save Charles. With his teleportation powers, he whisks his teammates to safety one by one, but their escape isn't smooth sailing. Apocalypse's henchmen are hot on their heels. The plane becomes a battleground as Psylocke and Angel crash through its hull. Quick-thinking Jean tells everyone to huddle around Nightcrawler. She then uses her mind to send the plane into a nosedive. Just before impact, Nightcrawler pushes his powers to the limit and teleports the team to safety. Psylocke manages to escape, using her psychic powers to break her fall. She survives but blacks out. Angel isn't so lucky. He goes down with the plane. Inside the pyramid, Apocalypse wakes up furious. He realizes Charles slipped through his fingers, robbing him of the mental powers he craved. Enraged, he teleports out, cursing Angel's lifeless body as he begins his hunt for Charles. Thanks to their mind link, Apocalypse knows Charles is nearby. As he calls out, everything freezes. It's Quicksilver, moving at lightning speed. He lands punch after punch, but Apocalypse isn't easily beaten. In a blink, the tables turn. Apocalypse traps Quicksilver and brutally breaks his leg. Just as Psylocke is about to deliver the final blow, she turns on Apocalypse instead. But his regenerative powers make him nearly invincible, and he easily grabs her by the throat. As Apocalypse tightens his grip on Psylocke, her disguise fades away. It's Mystique. Apocalypse uses her and Quicksilver as bait, trying to lure Charles out. Charles almost gives in, but then he has a light bulb moment. Their minds are still connected. Taking a huge risk, Charles dives into Apocalypse's mind. He bombards the villain with a tidal wave of mutant pain and suffering. For a moment, it works. Apocalypse staggers, dropping Mystique, but the tables turn quickly. Apocalypse grows to monstrous size, tossing Charles around like a ragdoll in their mental battle. In the real world, he zeroes in on Charles's hiding spot. Just as hope seems lost, metal bars block Apocalypse's path. It's Magneto, swooping in to save the day. Magneto unleashes a storm of metal, while Cyclops joins the fight with his laser beams. Beast tries to help but gets swatted aside. Even with their combined efforts, Apocalypse seems unstoppable. Back in the mental arena, Charles is on his last legs, but he's got one last card to play. He tells Apocalypse that no matter how powerful he is, he's fighting a losing battle. The tide is about to turn. Just when things look bleak, Jean bursts onto the scene, both in the real world and in Charles's mental battle. She's finally unleashing her true power, and it's a sight to behold. Jean's psychic assault shatters Apocalypse's mental defenses, while in reality, his seemingly impenetrable armor crumbles. Magneto seizes the moment, pelting Apocalypse with a barrage of metal shards. Meanwhile, Cyclops breaks free with Beast's help. He whips off his glasses, blasting Apocalypse with everything he's got. As the villain tries to escape, a shocking twist occurs. Storm, once his ally, turns against him with a dazzling lightning strike. Apocalypse's face twists in disbelief and horror. Jean's power surges again, and this time even Apocalypse's healing factor can't save him. In a blinding flash, he's reduced to ash. In the aftermath, Magneto and Jean team up to rebuild the school. Though Magneto soon goes his own way, their friendship endures. Charles, having learned a valuable lesson, asks Mystique to train a new generation of X-Men. He knows they'll need to be ready for whatever challenges lie ahead.